Hello there, everyone. Welcome to Brew Jackets. It's a fun Blue Jackets themed podcast. My name is Kevin, and joining me tonight is my co-host Hefty Duck. And we've also invited other people to come on the show as we normally do. They may or may not come on. A lot of stuff going on in the Blue Jackets world that we get to talk about. The Blue Jackets have played 3 games since our last show. They lost to the Lightning 5-3. They beat the Devils 4-2. And they lost to the Flyers 5-4 and just kind of blew it, which sucks, but it is what it is. But you know what? There was good and bad in all 3 of those games, and we're going to talk about it. It's not all bad. There are MVPs for the Blue Jackets so far this season. Who are those guys? We're going to talk about that. Elvis Merzlikins has been playing a pretty good game against the Devils. We're going to talk about that. And Ohio State has new hockey jerseys and so much more. Welcome to the show, everyone.
Welcome in. Welcome in. As always, I want to do a huge shout out to our audio listeners out there. You guys are awesome. Keep it up. We appreciate you. And if you're watching this on Twitter, check us out on YouTube as well. We're trying to get a lot more followers there. And we also have Facebook. You can find all of our links in our link tree on any of the social media platforms you guys are watching us on. So check it out. Thank you with the buttons. So not the greatest week, but the Blue Jackets snapped their losing streak, and that was nice to see. Unfortunately, it came out of price. That price being 2 other losses. And something that was like being talked about before the last 2 games, and it came to light in Tampa as well, was the Blue Jackets' second period was lax. Last year, it seemed like it was their like third period plays, just they'd run out of gas or something like that, and they'd be able to get scored on. This year, like the second period's been kind of rough here lately. Like in their loss to Tampa Bay got 3 unanswered goals in the second period, and they already had 1 in the first. And that's hard to watch, especially when they played so good against Tampa the first time this year. And of course, one of those was a power play goal. Now, I've noticed there's been a few less power play goals, but I think the reasoning for it is because they're taking less penalties. It's simple as that. You don't give them the chance to get power plays. You don't give up power play goals. It's just kind of obvious, isn't it? Easier said than done. I'm not trying to make light of that, but yeah. So anyway, let's go ahead and just talk about the first game. Since we last saw you guys, we were last show was I think last Monday, and we're coming at you a weird time today. I know. Thank you all for watching the replay, though. If you're watching on the replay, and we'll try to keep this relevant for a few days over this Christmas time. Also, happy holidays to y'all. Merry Christmas. Hope you guys have a good one.
That's right.
I know I'm about to have a pretty good Christmas. Anyway, I'm just pulling up my notes here. Tampa Bay. So, the very first period. Wait, where is this? Oh, okay. Here's my notes. Sorry. Excuse me. Very first period, Luke Glendening got a tip-in goal. I think it was a tip-in goal from a pass from Nicklas Perbix. That was it. That was the only thing that really happened in the first period. That Nicklas Perbix, I don't know how to say that. I think it sounds right. They also got a penalty. First period, there's only a penalty in the whole first period. Now, the second period, it gets a little bit different. Nick Paul scored for Tampa Bay, minute and a half into the first period. So then Connor Geeky, he went knee-to-knee contact, right? Didn't he? Was that with Fabro?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, yeah, with Fabro. And Don Fabro has been out since. At least they did not play in yesterday's game against Philadelphia, yesterday being Saturday, December 21st. So that was unfortunate to see. Luckily, I mean, not luckily, like, well, kind of luckily, it's not like a serious injury. It's just something that, as far as we're aware, that I've heard, that is he'll be able to come back from relatively soon. But that was the whole thing in itself. He got a Connor Geeky got a knee penalty and a roughing penalty uh, later on with Hagel, along with Matthew Olivier for roughing, and then Cole Sillinger got an instigator, a fighting, and then a 10-minute game misconduct for instigator. Do you remember what happened there? I'm reading stats right now, and I'm trying to rack my brain exactly like how he got. I wanted to say I felt like the instigator thing was a little bit much.
Yeah, so okay, because so Cole Sillinger, he even I'm paraphrasing it, but he even kind of said this himself. But basically, he said that he let his emotions get the best of him there. Basically, paraphrasing it, because he didn't like what Connor Geeky did to Dante Fabro with that
Mm,
knee on knee hit.
yeah,
And I could see why. No one likes that. But stuff like that sometimes just happens, where it's just kind of like a bang bang play, and dudes just run into each other, and it happens. I'm not even saying that's what it was in that particular hit, but that's it goes like that sometimes. And Cole Cylinder saw that, and he didn't like that, so then he went after Connor Geeky, and basically just went crazy on him and just started beating the crap out of him. And that's where the kind of like the whole instigator thing just kind of jumps in there,
yeah,
because
that's fair.
he did not really give Connor Geeky a chance to get in there and like fight.
Yeah, I guys
Just kind of
attacked
just beat
him.
up on
Yeah,
them, and like you just really can't. It's not to say you can't do that, but realistically you shouldn't, and that's where
yeah,
all that stuff, you know, comes into play. It's like,
yeah.
if you feel the need to go after a dude, then you know what, hey, you talk to him, hey, I want to fight you, or you poke with a little stick or something to get
To
his
see if
attention.
they'll reciprocate, yeah.
Yeah, see if he'll reciprocate, and then if he does, then all right, then it's even, and that's all right, fine, let's go, go fight. But if he doesn't, then at that point in time, you just got to back off and say, you know what, he doesn't want it, because then if you do go after him, what happened is that you're going to get all these penalties, and you're not helping your team out in that
Yeah,
situation. And it is good that he did stick up for himself and Dante Fabro, but there's better ways to go about that,
yeah. Well,
basically.
and I thought that the penalty kill was pretty decent for the Blue Jackets too, but I mean, with so many minutes on the clock of being down that man, they did end up giving up a power play goal in that period. Mitchell Chaffee got a goal with a pass from Nick Paul. Nick Paul had a great night himself for Tampa Bay. He got 2 assists there. Third period though, the winds changed a little bit in the Blue Jackets' favor. Mikhail Putia, he got a turnover while they were forechecking. And every time the Blue Jackets are on this high pressure forecheck, they do well. And every time they struggle, what is the other team doing? A high pressure forecheck. They have a hard time with it sometimes. That's where you force turnovers that way. The only thing you can't do is get caught too far up then. But it's a whole nother topic to discuss at some point. So PTI got a turnover on the forecheck. Then once again, on another turnover, Kirill Marchenko got a pass to Fantilli. Fantilli looked like he might have passed it left or right or something like that. And he just ripped a shot in and went right in the goal. And then Cole Sillinger on a power play for the Blue Jackets. He caught a puck that was kind of bounced off the goalie, and he got the Blue Jackets' third goal to make it 4-3. Blue Jackets were down, and Blue Jackets pulled their goalie at the end. It's cool. I believe this game was Chet Greaves in net, and Braden Point got the final goal of the game for Tampa Bay to make it 5-3. But I mean, there was a lot of good you saw in this game. I mean, obviously everyone prefers a win, But I don't know. What are your thoughts on this game?
It just comes down to this, is that there were moments in that game early on where the Blue Jackets looked good. You know, Sean Monahan's line did stand out. They had some good chances there. But it just comes down to this, is that you gave up a goal in the first period, and then what's the killer? The killer is you gave up 3 goals in the second period. That's what does you in.
Yeah.
And they're really, for whatever reason, the Blue Jackets just made the decision to kind of take a period off and not show up. And then the third period comes around, and you're like, oh, hey, we're here. We're going to show up now, and we're going to go play hockey. And they did, but it's like, you can't do that. You just can't. It's good that you played a good third period, minus giving up that goal at the end. You play a pretty good third period there, but you just can't do what you did. Put yourself in a hole like that, because if that second period doesn't happen, you win that game 3-2
Easily.
And that it's just such a big difference. I also think that, at least from my perspective, that the Lightning, they just kind of got a little lazy there, because they're playing a pretty good game there from their perspective. And I just think that they could just go out there and play, okay, whatever, we got this, it's fine, it's cool, and lackadaisical. They scored on that power play. It was a 5-minute major, but they only got one. And I do think part of it is you watch the play, and it's just so lazy and lackadaisical. It's fine.
We're up 4-0.
We're up 3-0, whatever. We got good players. We can score. And it's like, no, you can't do that. It wasn't until towards the end of that penalty that I think they realized, oh, okay, we got to get our shit together here. And they got going, and they scored a goal. And I also, it's that similar thing that in the third period where they just kind of, lazy and lackadaisical and just making just bad turnovers that left to them getting scored on by the Blue Jackets. Andre Vasilevsky is a good goalie. He's shown that time and time again. But even he has a limit. Even he has some stuff that he can only do so much. And when you're putting him in situations like that, you weren't being very Lightning. You weren't being very fair to him, because you're giving these wide open chances to the Blue Jackets on a consistent basis. And you're saying, okay, stop this. And you can't, because you can only do so much. There's also another interesting thing that I noticed here, that 2 of the 3 goals that were scored on against Tampa Bay was blocker's side. The other one was up high on the glove side by Sillinger. And that got me thinking, I wonder if there's something there. And I went back and I looked at the goals that the Blue Jackets scored on Vasilevsky in the playoffs back in 2019. A majority of those goals that were scored were on the blocker's side. So I know that's 5 years ago and everything, but I just wonder if they still remembered that, and they went back and say, hey, this guy can give up goals on the blocker side. That's something to consider here when you're shooting on him. Blocker side. Blocker side goals back then in the playoffs, 2 of the 3 goals this time were blocker side goals. I just wonder if that's something there that they picked up on, that, hey, there might be something there.
Could be.
Try
seems like
try that out.
It seems like teams like to tell their players to shoot high glove side on Merzlikins. So I'd imagine there's similar stuff like that around. Yeah.
So overall, that was an average game. But if you just show up for a 60-minute game, you win that game. But you didn't do that, and unfortunately, you lose, even if you had a pretty good, third period there, minus giving up the goal. You just do better. And I do believe they will do better. Just you can't have what you did there.
Yeah, that was kind of a running theme with a couple previous games too. With the second period, just getting them deep in the shitter, just sucks. Now, fortunately, in the game against New Jersey, they fixed the second period. The third period almost got away from them near the end. We'll talk about that here in a bit. But to starting out the scoring in that game was Ivan Provorov with his third goal of the year. He got a so it was kind of funny the way it happened. Like the goaltender, I forget who was in goal for New Jersey. Sorry, goalie guy. It was Jake Allen. So it kind of looked like Jake Allen was held back a little bit by his own teammate,
Mm-hmm.
as in the New Jersey Devils gotten like would have gotten goalie interference if that was a thing against your own teammates. But luckily Provi was there and nailed it home. So the second period, Zach Werenski came up big on the power play to get a goal with the assist from Marchenko and Monahan. Love to see it. And then Monahan himself got a goal later on in the second period. Werenski's shot was a hard freaking shot from up top on the power play. That was huge. Good timing. And Monahan just happened to kind of be in the right place at the right time. He was kind of camping the back post, and Voronkov got a rocket over to him, and he smacked it in. I don't remember if it kind of bounced around at all and came out, or if he just
kind of just so like Voronkov just kind of like put it on net, and then like the puck kind of like bounces to Monahan, and then he just quickly puts it in there. And that in itself was a hard goal for Monahan to score because he's a left-handed shot on the left side of the ice, and you could see him. It was kind of awkward for him to just kind of put that in there. It's a credit to him for doing that. But like if Sean Monahan is a right-handed shot on the left side, that is a much easier goal for him to score. But because he's left-handed shot on the left side, it was kind of hard for him and kind of awkward, and he just kind of found a way to get it in there.
I've been. I mean, I can't believe how good Sean Monahan has been for the team this year. I mean, what a coming in first year with the team and everything, just pulling out huge moves every game. It's wonderful to see. Third period though, everything seemed to be kind of going fine. It was pretty even the whole way through, and all of a sudden, with just under 3 minutes left to go, 2 minutes and 50 seconds, Luke Hughes, after trying to, I forget if it was the other Hughes also making shots at this time, but Elvis saved a couple of one of the Hughes brothers' shots, and then there was a huge open net save too. Elvis was able to get. I don't know how he moved the whole way across. I have no clue how he stretched his arms out to block that shot. It was a wide open net. I don't know if I have a replay of it, but if I do, I'll bring it up later. Finally, after some bouncing around in front of the net, a bunch of, no clears from the defense or anything. I think they had pulled their goalie, so it was the extra attacker on. Finally, Luke Hughes nailed one in. And yeah, I'm pretty sure they had the extra attacker. So then the next goal came about a minute 20 later or so for the Devils. And that was Jack Hughes shooting, but then Timo Meyer got a tip in to make it 3-2. Jersey, was kind of making a little bit of a comeback here, but just 15 seconds later, Sean Monahan makes his 11th goal of the game, his 11th for the season, on the empty net. And after that game, Matthew Olivier got the donkey hat. Which was good for him. I'm kind of wait, is that the right game? Am I crazy? Yeah, because they won and they had the donkey hat.
Yep.
Let's look at the points here. So Sean Monahan led the Blue Jackets in points that night. He had 3 points, 2 goals, 1 assist. Marchenko had 2 goals, 2 points. Provorov had 1 goal for 1 point. Aston Reese, Olivier, and Voronkov all had an assist, and Werenski had a goal. So I'm kind of blanking here as to exactly all what happened with Olivier to get the donkey hat.
So he did play a pretty good game there, and he did block some shots and everything. He did do some good stuff. So like I could see why Ken Johnson pick him and everything. It's just that many people feel this way. It's that if there was ever a guy that should have gotten that donkey hat that game, it should have been Elvis Merzlikins, because the dude just played an outstanding game. That's his best game he's played all season, and that's one of his best games he's ever played in his career with the Blue Jackets. Just outstanding. Big save after big save. He kept the Blue Jackets in the game. It's often like in times like in baseball, you got a pitcher, he's pitching a good game and he's keeping the team in it, and it gives some time for the offense to get going. And then once the offense get going, the team finds, you win. It's like you pitch a good game, and then, like the sixth inning, you have like a 5-run inning and you win that game like 6-0 or something. That's
Right.
basically what happened with the Blue Jackets from a hockey perspective, is that Elvis Merzlikins played a pretty good game there. He kept him in it, and then once the offense got going for the Blue Jackets, they won that game. Ivan Provorov with the big goal in the first period. You have the difference in that game is you have a 2-goal second period. You have Zach Werenski and you have Sean Monahan. Sean Monahan gets the goal in the third period, but that second period really made a difference
Huge.
Because now you're up 3-0, and you just made it that much harder for the Devils to come back. It's hard to come back 3-0 compared to 1-0. And you look at that, generally speaking, the entire game from an offensive standpoint, the Devils didn't really have anything other than Jack Hughes and his brother Luke Hughes. They were really the only ones that had any sort of offense going on there for the Devils. Jack Hughes had like 14 shots on goal himself.
Yeah.
And then Luke Hughes probably had like another 5. And Luke Hughes did get one, but like Merzlikins stopped most of the shots from Luke Hughes. He stopped all of the shots from Jack Hughes. The one that stands out is that wide open net, and that's a goal. If Jack Hughes is a right-handed shot on the left side, that's a goal. But because he's a left-handed shot on the left side, that's a harder shot for him to shoot. And then you see he was kind of on an awkward angle when he's shooting the puck, so he kind of had to settle it down, and then that gave enough time for Merzlikins to get over. Similar thing, Jack Hughes had another wide open chance, where this time it's perfect. It's what you want. He was a left-handed shot on the right side of the ice and wide open net. Generally speaking, that sort of situation where you're a left-handed shot on the right side, open net, easy goal. But again, he had to settle that puck down, and by the time he settled the puck down and shot it, it gave enough time for Merzlikins to get over. Elvis Merzlikins just played an outstanding game, and if there was ever a guy to get the donkey hat, he should have been the guy to get that donkey hat. The dude absolutely earned it. And the only reason that they even scored those goals is because they pulled the goalie. Because otherwise they had nothing going on offensively. If they don't pull the goalie, I don't think they score. I just don't. That's just not how things were going for them that particular game. And what gets them in trouble is that they don't get the puck out, And if they do get the puck out, they iced it. Like you just can't keep doing that. You can ice it like 1 or 2 times, get away with it, fine. But you cannot keep doing that.
Yeah, like the most set plays are usually off the face-off. Like they have a plan every time.
Yeah. And in today's world, I know it's more encouraged to just get the puck out and shoot for the empty net. I understand that. However, though, in my personal opinion, I would not be doing that. I would be telling my guys, if you get the puck, just get it out and then make sure you don't get an icing. Make sure you cross that center ice line so you don't get called for icing. Find a way to do that.
Yeah.
Because you can only do so many icings before you get burned. And that's what happened there with the Blue Jackets. They couldn't get it out, and when they did get it out, ice the puck. You do it again and again, and then you get scored on because you can't line change. You get tired. There are issues to that strategy. But you know what? The Blue Jackets, generally speaking, played a pretty good game. They found a way to get it done. Elvis Merzlikins, outstanding game, and they win 4-2. That's pretty damn good to me. I like that. You know,
I like to see it. So those goals, like the Blue Jays kind of got like caught standing around too.
Yeah,
It's just something I noticed in last night's game. Last night being Sunday, December 21st. Sorry, Saturday, December 21st. And I just want to call out Yahoo Fantasy Sports real quick. Why does every little thing change the entire freaking roster? Because I have Owen Tippett on my fantasy team, and I don't remember what little move it made, but the entire roster got rearranged again and put him on the bench. What are you talking? Like, this guy had a 4-point game, and you benched him? What? Oh, man. So, anyway, Yahoo Sports, get your shit together. Anyway, so last night's game was absolutely it was ridiculous in my opinion. That should have been a win 10 times out of 10.
yeah.
And once again, though, the second period did not get away from them, but unfortunately, it was the third. So, hey, something interesting here. We have Matthew Olivier getting the first goal of the game, and that was with just under 5 minutes left in the first period, with an assist from Ken Johnson, the good old donkey hat giver. And second period, then, Mikhail Putia got his third goal of the game with a pass from Sean Corrali. It was great. Then the tower starts to crumble after that. It's a horrible analogy, sorry. Morgan Frost, whose name I kept hearing pop up the entire broadcast because he was all over the ice last night. Morgan Frost got a goal just 6.5 or just almost 7 minutes into the third period with a assist from Owen Tippett and Travis Konechny. Then Philly tied it up. At 8 minutes 48 seconds, Noah Cates got a goal, but then just over a minute later, Kirill Marchenko was quick to answer back with an entire Russian play here. Kirill Marchenko with an assist from Voronkov and secondary from Provorov. Unfortunately, then 2 minutes later, Morgan Frost once again with an assist from Owen Tippett and Travis Konechny. Got another goal. So that was his 6th goal of the year. It tied it back up at 3-3. And then the prayers were answered. Jake Christensen, who has been having a hell of a year, in my opinion. I think he's, this is his first goal of the season. But Jake Christensen got a goal with an assist from Dmitry Voronkov. But unfortunately, the Flyers threw that 6-man on again. They didn't pull him.
They did.
Oh, okay. Sorry. They pulled the goalie.
I'm just shaking my head at the frustration.
But they need to figure the 6-on-5 thing out. Yeah, for sure. Because Tyson Forster, his 9th goal of the season, with once again assists from Travis Konechny and Owen Tippett. Because why wouldn't it be? then they tied it up to go into overtime. Now the Jackets didn't do bad. They it took them a little bit into overtime. What was it? 3.5 minutes in. Owen Tippett. God, I'm still so pissed at Yahoo right now. Owen Tippett got I mean, if we're gonna lose the game, at least I could do good at fantasy, right? Owen Tippett with the game-winning goal from an assist from Noah Cates. So that ended the game in overtime. Jackets went home getting 1 point for the tie, but that advances them to 13, 15, and 7 now.
Just it just again, that was a game where, generally speaking, you played outstanding. You played awesome. Awesome goal for Matthew Olivier, and that's an awesome play that gets set up by Kent Johnson. Awesome pass to Olivier. Olivier shoots it, scores. That is kind of a harder goal for him because he was a right-handed shot on the right side, but credit to him to get it done. And Kent Johnson just continues to play awesome. Just wow. So good.
Dude,
And then he's just,
prodigy.
oh God, yeah. He's just so good. And then Mikhail Putia, awesome goal. And it happens because the Flyers goalie goes behind the net, tries to play the puck, and, doesn't work out for him. And then Sean Corrali gets the puck and passes it right out front. There's Putia. Putia shoots and scores. It's 2-0. You're playing a pretty good game there. Good first 2 periods. Flyers score a goal there. You think but it gets called back for offsides. So through 2 periods, if you're the Blue Jackets, you're feeling pretty good about yourself. You are. You're just feeling pretty good. And then, for whatever reason, the Blue Jackets just decided to just not play defense and just not play a 60-minute game, because the third period, it was just basically shit. It's not completely bad because, yes, you scored 2 goals in that game, in that period. You get one from Kirill Marchenko and Jake Christensen. So it's not completely bad. But the thing is, you basically blew that game right there because you let the Flyers back in. And it's very frustrating and stupid, and I just absolutely hate that. It didn't have to be like that.
Yeah.
And then you get to overtime, and again, so many chances to put it away, and you can't do it, which is the story of the Blue Jackets more recently when they get to overtime. They have so many chances to put it away, and they can't do it. And then the other team goes down the ice, boom, it's in the net. And it's it's just frustrating. And it's just, come on.
Yeah.
Now the Blue Jackets are 1-6 in overtime. That is unacceptable. That is not going to get it done. You cannot do that. You cannot put yourself in a position where you play a pretty good game and then you piss it away because you can't get it done in overtime. And we said this on the show before, but had the Blue Jackets won all of these games that they've lost in overtime, they are in a much different situation. And that situation is this: they're in a playoff spot if they win all these games in overtime. But now
19 and 15.
Yeah.
That'd be insane.
Yes. So you just can't do that. It is very disappointing and frustrating that they let that happen. You played a pretty good game there, and you just decide to just not play a full 60-minute effort, not play defense, and you just decide to just piss it away.
Yeah.
And just, you have all these chances to put it away, and you can't do it, and then you lose. You just can't do that. I don't like the Blue Jackets losing, but I'm more likely to accept it if, it's like, well, they played a pretty good game. It's just, the other team was just better that day. I'm not going to accept it if you play a game like that where you play a pretty good game there, and then you just piss it away. I just can't accept that. That's just not good. So there were some good moments there, but you pissed it away. You just need to be better.
Looking at overtime losses across the league, now let's look at the Eastern right now. So, in the Eastern Conference, the Blue Jackets have the second most overtime losses at 6, right behind the New York Islanders at 7. There is no team over 500 that has more than 4 overtime losses. The only one, the highest points percentage team right now is the New Jersey Devils with a 639 points percentage. They have 3 overtime losses. In the Western Conference, there are 2 that are 500 or over. That's Vancouver and Calgary. They also have some more wins. I think they just have some more games played in general. But Nashville's right there at the bottom. They have 7 overtime losses. Vancouver has 7. Calgary has 7. That's kind of not proving my point with Vancouver and Calgary. Get your shit together. But, so then we have San Jose Sharks at 6 as well. And, man, the West is all messed up. Utah's got 5. LA Kings have 5. They're 500 plus, and then they're 650. Whatever. My point being, the top teams here in the Eastern, looking at Carolina, 1 overtime loss. Washington, 2 overtime losses. They're going to happen. Even if the good teams, it's going to happen. Like once, 3, 4 times. But once you start getting up there in that, I mean, yeah, it's just causing you problems at this point. Blue Jackets are at a 441 points percentage, which is tied with the New York Islanders. So that's a little disheartening, but they fixed the second period. It makes sense. Like they're addressing each issue as it comes up, and then I don't know if it's creating another issue or if it's just highlighting another issue because they're doing so good earlier. Their 6-on-5s and their 3-on-3s simply just need work. And I'm no coach. I'm not some hockey guru guy, but there's a problem there and it needs to be addressed. And I'm sure Evanson's addressing this in the locker room. It's just what kind of plan can they really come up with the skill they have right now?
I would say this is, if you're in overtime, every shift, I'm throwing out some combination of a Adam Fantilli, a Sean Monahan, Zach Werenski, and then I'm throwing out like a Krill Marchenko. I'm throwing out a Cole Sillinger. I'm throwing out a Kent Johnson and a Damon Severson. I'm just trying to win the game here offensively. That's it. And if you are a guy that you're not necessarily good at offense, I'm not playing you in overtime. Sorry. I'm trying to win this. Maybe I'll have like a Boone Jenner or a Sean Corrali win a face-off sort of thing and then get off the ice and put someone else on. But that's it. Matthew Olivier, you've been awesome, and I could see why you were put out on 3-on-3 overtime because you're playing a pretty good game. You earned that extra ice time, but realistically, you should not be in 3-on-3 overtime. You should not. I'm putting 3-on-3 overtime, shift after shift, no matter how long it takes. I'm putting Fantilli out there. I'm putting Kent Johnson out there. I'm putting Cole Sillinger out there.
Kevin, you froze on me just a little bit. Oh, there you're back. Sorry, can you repeat the last 5 seconds of what you said? Yeah, I heard you put Fantilli out there and then it stopped.
I'm putting Adam Fantilli out there. I'm putting Cole Sillinger out there. I'm putting Zach Werenski out there. I'm putting Krill Marchenko out there. I'm putting Kent Johnson out there. Damon Severson, guys I know that have offensive ability. I know I can count on to get this job done. That's where that is where I'm at. Is
well,
need to do it.
plus minus is not a great stat, but when you do look at it in those situations too, I could see the plus minus being a little more accurate for a 3-on-3. I don't know. I would love to see. I don't know if I have any advanced stats of showing individuals with their 3-on-3 plus minus. I'll probably
It,
look that up for next week because I'm really curious now because
because it's
it's
just
not a great stat, but it on 3-on-3 to me it makes a little more sense.
and another and I've said this on the show last week, and I'll say it again, is just that this whole 3-on-3 thing, it used to be something where teams were more aggressive with it, always going to try and get that shot on goal, trying to win it. And now it's not that at all. Teams, they're just looking for that perfect matchup. And if it's not there, they'll skate it out and then they'll put it back in. And if it's not there, skate it out, put it back in. And you have to give teams credit to a certain degree. They have gotten better defensively at it. But it's just they're just looking for that perfect opportunity. And that's fine to a certain degree, but it's just like you got wide open ice. We got a chance, put it on goal. Let's try and win this here. So, and again, I'll admit this. I have a more negative feeling towards 3-on-3 overtime right now. I do. It's a screw this, screw overtime, screw 3-on-3 because the Blue Jackets are not very good at it right now. That's my feeling towards overtime.
Well, so real quick, well, not real quick. Let's talk about the MVPs of the season then, because this kind of leads us into that conversation too. Because I'm about to start talking some stats right now. So there's several guys, but there are two guys right now that three guys right now who are the absolute top cream of the crop. Now, I could throw Monahan in here as well, but the people I'm talking about is first and foremost Kirill Marchenko.
Mm-hmm.
He has 34 games played, 34 points. That's 12 goals, 22 assists. That's the most goals, the most assists on the team. He's a plus minus. He's a plus 13, which I'll get into that some other time too. Plus minus is weird, but right behind him, Zach Werenski, 34 games played, 32 points, 11 goals, 21 assists. That's a defenseman putting up forward numbers. That's insane. Sean Monahan, 34 games played, 28 points. He's 11 goals, 17 assists, and he's a plus 12. Werenski's a plus 2, but he has a lot more ice time than like almost anyone else on the team right now. He's a 26 minutes average. I think the next closest to him is like 22 from Severson and 23 from Provorov. So it makes sense that he'd be on the ice for some more goals against. But I want to bring up, we already said his name earlier. We got to talk about Kent Johnson too. He has only 20 games played this season. Only that's like, missing 14 games. That's a decent amount of games. But not only is he fifth on the team in points in only 20 games, he is playing at about a point per game. He has 20 games played, 19 points, 9 goals, 10 assists, and he's a -3. He's got a couple penalty minutes in there and whatnot. But just looking at it real quick too, he's got quite a lot of takeaways, and it's so fun watching a young guy. I mean, he's 22, watching him develop into who he was like projected and promised to be and whatnot. So that's pretty awesome. Oh, we got a comment here. If you too would like to comment on during our podcast, while we do this live, you can check us out on YouTube or Twitter and leave a comment there, and we'll read it on air. And Export Agenda says, "Hi, you streaming so early?" Yes, we are streaming early today due to the holidays coming up and the days that games are. It's just an awkward time of year for plans, and the show must go on. So here we are on a Sunday afternoon. I am watching the Browns-Bengals game right now, and unfortunately, well, I guess I don't care either way, honestly. technically I'm a Browns fan, but yeah, they're down 6-4. 6-24 with a minute 44 left in the fourth quarter. Sorry for anyone watching this.
Sorry.
Watching the replay.
Who day? Sorry.
That's the way she goes. The battle for Ohio. Did we really think a 3-win team, Browns team, was going to freaking do anything? Damn. Like, get it together, Cleveland.
I like my Browns friends. I do. But go Bengals. But that's besides.
So yeah, back to the stats here for a little bit. Voronkov been having a great year too. He didn't play. He hasn't played in every game. He has 25 games played with 17 points, so he's right up there in points as well. So real quick, I do want to talk about the plus minus because, like I said, I think that this might come into play more in like overtime too because you have to play so much offense and so much defense. I mean, you have to in 5-on-5 too, but on 3-on-3, it's just your individual effort is so much more important because there isn't the 2 extra defensemen or 2 extra skaters to back you up at all. And the best plus minus right now, Kirill Marchenko plus 13, Sean Monahan plus 12, Dante Fabro, defenseman, 18 games played, 3 goals, 4 assists, 7 points. It's a plus 11. It drops off pretty significantly after that. Dmitry Voronkov, he's got some less games played too. So, for Fabro and Voronkov, it makes sense that they haven't been on the ice as much to get those minuses. Dmitry Voronkov plus 4. So that's about. So really, the middle ones don't matter to me. It's the extremes because obviously, if he's a plus 12, man, he's doing some good defensive forechecking on the ice or something, right? But then, and I'm not trying to rip on anybody about doing this. These guys are young, and there's a specific line that these guys are all on. Mikhail Putia is a minus 10. Cole Sillinger is a minus 10. Adam Fantilli is a minus 10. And Justin Danforth is minus 7. And it goes up from there. And generally, it's all a bunch of younger people. A lot of the younger guys. Obviously, Danforth's a little bit older and Jack Johnson. But these guys are all 20, 21, 23. It's going to happen. And everyone's going to develop a little bit differently as well. So, it's hard to say exactly what the plus minus means. I mean, if anyone out there who's clueless, the plus minus means so if you're on the ice when your team scores, you get a +1. If you're on the ice when the other team scores, you get a -1. So what we can tell by this is that maybe Fantilli, Sillinger, and Putia, they're very offensive-minded forwards. And they're a little bit younger, so position with younger guys is not usually as much of a physical thing unless they're smaller. It's more of a positioning, knowing where to be, knowing how to act when the guy you're guarding or the zone you're guarding has the puck in it or has the puck, and mistakes do happen. Now Fantilli's got 14 points, Sillinger's got 20 points. They do make up for that in some ways, but then we have to look at Marchenko, Monahan, and Fabro too. Marchenko and Monahan, 2 guys, especially Monahan. He is, with the absence of Boone Jenner, Monahan is the hardest working guy out there. He is in Boone Jenner's spot. Being there, in my opinion, opinion, not fact. Him being a plus 12 is not an accident. He's on the forecheck constantly. And what actually helps the Blue Jackets? Be on the forecheck. Like I was saying about the last night's game and the game before that where they got scored on, they were like sitting back on their heels. And like the play was coming at them while they were kind of standing there. Now you gotta protect your net, you gotta protect the goal, you gotta protect the area around it. But I specifically noticed a moment last night where they were playing zone coverage, so they weren't like man to man. And this was a power play, I think, or this might have been when they had the 6th skater on. But Philadelphia was able to get like 3 guys down around the goal when the Jackets were playing zone coverage on 3 other guys who were like outside of that area. And then shortly after that was when all the like a lot of stuff happened in front of the net. The puck bounced out and it was goal. And I mean, that actually might have been, no, that was last night because I remember the orange uniforms. So all I'm saying is forecheck. It's really freaking important. And putting that pressure on. Pacing yourself, though, so you don't blow it in the third, so you don't get tired and just gas yourself out, but then also making sure you're present and there for the second period. That has nothing to do with plus minus, but so for me personally, all right, my MVP for the season right now, dude, it's so hard to pick one person. All right, I'll pick the third star for me for the season. The third star is shit. It's hard to pick because there's specifically the few guys that I want to pick are it comes down to for me is Kent Johnson, Sean Monahan, Zach Werenski, Kirill Marchenko. And I mean, you could throw Voronkov in that conversation, in my opinion, just because of his points percentage. And unfortunately, Yegor Chinikov has been out for a minute now. He only has 21 games played so far this season. I'm hoping there's not been much word on his return. He is listed as being on the IR still. Hopefully it's soon, because he was a huge part of every win in every game that he played. So yeah, MVPs. To me, there's 4. You can add a 5th one in there. Even though Sillinger is in front of Johnson by 1 point, he has 13 more games, so Johnson has to be in this conversation, an almost point per game player. For real though, I have to say, for me, number 1, Zach Werenski. Number 2, Marchenko. And then I think due to all the surrounding circumstances, his first year being on the team, Sean Monahan has to be that number 3. And Kent Johnson is my honorable mention for that. I mean, we're only 34 games into an 82-game season, so this is going to change.
Right.
Losing streaks are going to happen, and it's happened a few times here recently. That's this part of the season. We have a lot of time left in the season to see if they figure it out or not yet. So, who are your MVPs so far this season?
All right, so Zach Werenski, he gets the top spot because he's always been a good player for the Blue Jackets, but for whatever reason, this season he's made the decision to just step it up and play just even better than he already has. And this is one of the best times of hockey that he's played in his entire career. There's other moments.
Hey,
Is the man of truth.
Young Beezer, how's it going?
Pretty good, eh?
So we'll have to get your take a little later on what you made for the Blue Jackets.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
So, but first we're doing MVPs for the Blue Jackets so far this season. But Zach Werenski has been so awesome. He's always been a good player for the Blue Jackets. But for whatever reason, he's really stepped it up this season and played even better than he already has. Some of his best hockey in his career. There's been other moments where he's looked awesome, but he's really stepped it up. Offense, defense, power play.
56 blocks by Zach Werenski.
Yes. Block shots, offense, defense, power play, penalty killing.
21 takeaways.
He's been good. He's been just a smooth skater, reliable. And just the thing is that's so impressive is that the dude is a horse. He is, you can throw him out there, have him play 20, 30 minutes a night, and he's fine. Like nothing ever happened. Like he's ready to go the next shift. The dude sits on the bench for like 20, 30 seconds, and then he goes out there again, and he's fine. Like nothing never happened.
Dude, like last night. Was it last night? He got a little bit of a leg injury.
Yeah, he got his knees got whacked into the boards, and then he comes back and like nothing never happened. He's a tough son of a bitch, and I love him for it. And he plays 20, 30 minutes a night. comes back, he's fine. Some guys can't do that. He's just awesome. Number 2 is Kirill Marchenko / Kent Johnson. Marchenko, awesome, leads the teams in goals. Offensively, he's been better defensively. The thing that really stands out to me for Kirill Marchenko is that his passing has stepped up. He's so much better passing the puck, and he's had some plays where he's passed the puck that he set up the Blue Jackets with some goals there. The one
Helps
that
him
really,
get that plus 13, huh?
yeah, that's a good way to get the plus 13. One of the ways that his passing stands out is the goal that he got to Adam Fantilli against the Flames when they beat him 5-2. Is that Marchenko, he has a wide open chance to shoot it, and everyone in the building thinks he's going to shoot it, and he makes it look like he's going to shoot it, and then at the last moment quickly passes it over to Adam Fantilli. Adam Fantilli shoots and scores. So Kirill Marchenko, you've been awesome. I just love it. And then Kent Johnson, just wow. Where did that come from? He has been so good. He's really exploded onto the scene. He stepped it up. He has played so good offensively. He had, I don't know the exact stat, but like he has just every time that he scored a point in a game, like the Blue Jackets, generally speaking, 9 times out of 10, the Blue Jackets win. He has a point in just about every game that the Blue Jackets have played so far this season. So good offensively. He's even better defensively. Stepped it up on the penalty kill. He's gotten a shorthanded goal. He's just wow. He's really stepped it up. And reliability. He's been so reliable. If I need him to play top 6 minutes, first line, second line minutes, he does that. If I need him to play in the bottom 6, third line, whatever, he does that. He's just been so good. And then number 3 is Sean Monahan. For, like you said, Hefty Duck, for all the shit that he's had to go through, he's, all the ups and the downs and the whole Johnny Gaudreau situation. There's a lot of stuff going on there. So many emotions, so many highs and lows and good and bad and everything in between. He comes to play for the Blue Jackets in part because he wants to play for Johnny Gaudreau, and then he doesn't even get to do that. There are other reasons too, because he's got a family now. He got a wife and a kid, and you want a nice place to raise a family, and Columbus/Ohio is perfect for that. And he, in all that stuff, he still comes out and plays just awesome. He's been so reliable. Offense, defense, face-offs, power play, penalty killing. He has just been so good. He is everything that you could have wanted. He's good center depth for the Blue Jackets, good veteran leadership, and you put him on a line with anyone, and those guys that play with him are awesome. So I just love it. So, Zach Werenski, Kent Johnson / Kirill Marchenko, and Sean Monahan are my MVP so far. Elvis Merzlikins, you've played better. You've stepped it up this season. So honorable mention to you, but that's just my thoughts on the whole MVP so far.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair.
Okay, so Beezer, the man of truth, he has a food job. He works at the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, which is where the Flyers and the 76ers play. And the man of truth, his job is that he makes food for people, and that food is often served to people like the Flyers and other teams that are coming to town, and coaches and a whole bunch of other stuff. And he has said that he would tell us what he made for the Blue Jackets, and the Blue Jackets were in town. So what did you make for the Blue Jackets?
Well, it wasn't really nothing major. I mean, honestly, there's a big difference between like cooking for like the home team and the visiting team. But like usually we'll make like maybe like a couple of fruit trays, leave them a couple of pretzels, some peanuts, some like granola bars or something like that. Uh,
Oh.
that's pretty much what I made for the Blue Jackets.
Do they have any
Uh,
special requests ever, like the other visiting teams?
uh, yeah, man. They ask what they want. They ask us what they want, and we just make it.
Right
So
on.
Yeah.
one instance, like the Devils were in town for like a preseason game.
Did they want deviled eggs? Sorry, bad joke.
Dude, oh my goodness, oh my god, if that was a thing, like it'd be so funny. But like,
Fuck. Anyway,
yeah,
sorry. Continue.
yeah, I make all it is just putting together like little platters of stuff for the. I don't know if I should be able. I don't know if I'm even allowed to tell this, but yeah, just we give the visiting team like the Jackets specifically, we give them like granola bars or like little protein bars, fruits. I think we had Uncrustables. I don't know if that
Nice.
was.
I've heard that's really popular. Actually, there was a meme stat going around about how many Uncrustables each locker room would go through per season.
Yeah, oh, dude, they're a huge fan of Uncrustables. But it's not like the usual Uncrustables, man. They're like the little fucking shitty wheat Uncrustables.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do you do stuff like sandwiches and stuff like that too?
Yes, sandwiches and stuff, but I don't know if the Jackets asked for that. I did make sandwiches for I think it was for the Flyers, like family members. I'm
right
not
on.
too sure.
Cool. So, besides the food, did you get to watch the game at all then last night while you
Oh,
were
I was
working? Or
there.
you watched? Yeah,
I was
right.
there.
Okay, cool. So, obviously, the Flyers won. It is what it is.
But
What do you think of the game?
I'm not gonna rag too much on the Jackets because it seemed like they wanted it more than the Flyers. I feel like this was a game that the Flyers did not really deserve to win. I mean, bad goaltending, bad defense, power play is constantly dog shit. Uh, excuse my language, but it's just I don't know what it is. I think it's just that Tortorella tough magic. He just wills the team to victory. I felt like if they're, on the young Beezer deserved to win-o-meter, I think the Jackets deserve to win this game more. I'm happy with the win. Owen Tippett, he had a great game that night. I think he had like 3 points.
4.
4. Oh, man.
Yeah, you weren't here at the beginning, but long story short, Yahoo Sports rearranged my roster because of like someone moving, and they took him out of the fucking lineup and left an empty spot. It's not like they replaced him in the lineup with someone. Anyway, sorry, I'm not gonna get mad about it.
Fuck you, Yahoo.
Cool. Fuck you, Yahoo. Anyway,
But
continue.
no, this wasn't a game that the Flyers deserved to win. It really wasn't, respectfully. If
yeah,
we're letting in complete dangits of goals, and it's just like we don't, it's not it wasn't a good complete game. The Flyers have been on a shitter. I mean, obviously we won, but like I just feel like this wasn't an earned win. I feel like this was a game that I feel like Columbus played down to our level, and that's not something that anyone should be doing. I feel like
less that the Flyers won and more that the Blue Jackets lost the game.
that's what I think. I think it was more like the Jackets lost instead of the Flyers winning.
Yeah.
Because this was not a good game by the boys in orange.
And Hartsey, you're right, is that we've seen this with the Flyers and we've seen this with the Blue Jackets, is that John Tortorella is the type of guy that gets stuff out of guys that other coaches can't. If you have John Tortorella as your coach, you will win games specifically because John Tortorella is your coach, and the whole toughness thing and all that stuff. There is some absolute truth to that. And last game against the Flyers, the Blue Jackets were not ready for that. This game, I do feel the Blue Jackets were much better prepared for that. They're more ready for that. It's just, they just, from a Blue Jackets perspective, I've already said this and I'll say it to you now. It's just, they're playing a pretty good game there, and then they just decided to not play a full 60 in the third period and just decide to piss it away. And, you have so many chances to put it away, third period and overtime, and you don't do it, and that's the result you get. You lose, and, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Well,
If I were a Jackets fan, I'd be very come on, this is not a. We had this game
if
in
it
the
was a
bag.
different season, I'd probably be a little more bothered by it. But this year, I can't rip on them too much. They've exceeded my expectations. Everything that happened in the offseason, Johnny Gaudreau and Matthew Gaudreau too. They are doing well, in my opinion. That's not an easy thing to move on from. But anyway. We're kind of running here towards the end of our episode. Kevin, was there some more? You said you had some fun things at the beginning, right? You got some Ohio State jerseys and whatnot.
Yeah, so the Blue Jackets are not the only Ohio sports team that will be playing an outdoor hockey game. This upcoming January, Ohio State hockey is going to be playing an outdoor hockey game in Chicago at Wrigley Field.
Oh, that's awesome.
Both Ohio State men's hockey team and both Ohio State women's hockey team will be playing outdoor hockey games at Wrigley Field.
Well, that's cool.
Yes.
I didn't know about that until just now.
Ohio State men's hockey has new hockey jerseys for that game. I've not seen anything from Ohio State women's hockey, but this is what Ohio State men's hockey is going to wear for their outdoor game at Wrigley Field in Chicago. So I'm going to put it up on the screen. As you can see, it's like a charcoal gray sort of thing, and it's got white letters outlined in red, and it says Ohio State, and then there's the numbers.
It's weird seeing him in skates on the baseball field.
Well,
on the grass, it bothers me a little bit.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Well, it might be turf. It looks kind of like it might be turf, but still.
Yeah, it probably is.
But so I look at this jersey and I'm like, it's okay. It's okay. I don't like the color. Like, if your colors are red, gray, and white, like, why aren't you doing that? And then this kind of ugly color,
scarlet and gray. All right, it's not red.
I don't know.
No, but I get what you're saying here. So, in my opinion, though, if you've looked at the past with like jersey sales, anyway, darker jerseys tend to sell more than like the away jerseys do now, and the light jerseys. I think because I just see a lot more of like the color jersey. Now they're going to be the away team here, right? Who did you say that they're playing?
Ohio State is playing. The men's team will be playing Michigan.
Oh, okay. So that's a little. So it kind of depends who's the home, who's the away team here. In my opinion, the script, I'm cool with. I like the idea of the banner on the bottom. I don't like it for a hockey jersey, but they're playing on a baseball field, and I think that's the kind of vibe they're trying to pass. And I can get along with that a little bit. But yeah, otherwise it's just a little bit bland to me. Now scarlet and gray, it's supposed to be a silvery gray. Like if you look at the symbol he's standing on, that is the gray there. That would look really weird as like one big solid color on there. Personally, I think maybe they could have I don't know, done like a different top and different color, different bottom or something like that. Like it just seems.
I'm sorry. I'm just sorry that color is ugly to me. I think that just
the color is weird with the red. Like the light gray works with the red because it's not like the other. It's not the same tone. There's a difference between There's there's similar tones. Like if you took this in black and gray, if you took this photo in black and white, it would the red would probably maybe even be a little bit lighter than the gray, which is kind of weird.
You would barely be able to tell though.
It was any different. Yeah. Right.
So the man of truth, your thoughts on this hockey jersey?
Well, obviously, I'm not a big college hockey connoisseur. Obviously, I don't know as much as anyone else does. But I mean, I do know a lot about jerseys, and I do like my jerseys. And I do feel like, obviously you're going for a baseball look,
Yeah.
and obviously you're playing at Wrigley, which is a very iconic ballpark. Why
That's kind
not,
of a weird.
F it, go for a little bit of pinstripes, maybe a little white, a little white jersey with some red pinstripes, honestly, I like
Pinstripes would be sick.
I
That'd
like
Mm,
be
the
awesome.
idea they were going for here, but I feel like it's like the all gray, just kind of like it's not a pretty combination of jerseys. Like if you put like red pants on, I feel like that would be like kind of a move. Like I would be
Right.
in favor of that. Or if you like brighten the shade of gray,
Because their
but
helmets look so weird against it too. Their helmets are still gray.
yeah.
yeah, the
They look
helmets,
gray.
it's not it doesn't go together.
It's
And
not a
I
vibe.
think
Yeah.
if it were up to me, I would have Mike Keenan that shit and said, we are not wearing that on the ice.
Or they could
Fuck.
have made it black and put the light gray in there as like another stripe. The
Yeah,
black
I
jersey would have
mean,
been cool.
well, like,
Whatever.
obviously, what power do we have in them changing it?
So
No.
one last thing for me though too. Why is Ohio State and Michigan playing in Chicago at Wrigley Field? Now, there are a lot of renovations being done at I keep wanting to say Jacobs Field, but Progressive Field is right up at the Cleveland Guardians. So I understand that there's a lot of renovations going on there, and I don't think it would probably work out at this time because last I seen there was a bunch of shit torn up, and they're like redoing a bunch. So obviously it wouldn't work there like it worked out with the Monsters. They played. Did they play at the Brown Stadium? Or did they play at the baseball field?
No, the Monsters played at the Brown Stadium.
And obviously that's too close to because they're playing in January, so it's just too close to football season, I think, for that to have worked out.
Well,
But
I mean, January and Browns Stadium is,
it's gonna be pretty empty in there. Yeah,
yeah, you're gonna have a lot of you're not gonna have to worry about the schedule,
a lot of room for activities, huh?
Yeah.
Shit. It is what it is, man. I literally just watched them lose the Bengals a little bit ago.
I was about to say, I was watching them play the Bengals during my lunch break, and I said, man, this team is fucking.
The very first 2 minutes, I'm like, oh, the Browns are brownsing it up again. Damn.
Yeah, this team sucks. This team
Yeah.
sucks.
Oh, brother.
Yes.
Guy sucks.
This guy
Yeah.
stinks.
Who they? So Ohio State, they've done this gray jersey before.
I kind of like that more than I thought it would, actually.
And it's gray, and it's the right kind of gray, and it's red letters outlined in like a black sort of in a black, and it looks better. Like
looks like a basketball jersey more.
It does look. It looks very basketball-esque. It's like
I'm just saying you could have done something like this, but that's just better. My opinion.
Yeah, that is nicer.
But anyways, that's besides
all that just
point.
for Ohio State to lose by 4.
Yeah,
because their hockey program is just not going to be able to come close.
Yeah. All right. So next thing I'm going to share is this. So back in November, I saw that. Oh, it was the day of Ohio State and Michigan. It's like, I'm next to a Michigan fan. What's the move? And people, it's like, here's the move. Instead of just like, let's just settle down here. Let's settle down here. Instead of just freaking out that you saw a Michigan fan, this is what you do. You say, hey, go Bucks, go Ohio State. And also, thank you, Michigan, for Zach Wierenski and Jack Johnson and Kent Johnson and Adam Fantilli. That's what you say. I think this is the move that from now on, you see a Michigan fan and you go, you know what? Thank you for Jack Johnson. Thank you for Kent Johnson. Thank you for Zach Wierenski. Thank you for Adam Fantilli. Thank you for Kent Johnson. They've been awesome players for the Blue Jackets. That's the move. That is what you do.
Nah, man, I'm going scorched earth. I'm beating the shit out of them. I'm beating the shit.
That is what you do. No more
Yeah.
irrational fear of Michigan or a Michigan fan.
Hey, bro, what you doing with them colors on my block, cuz? What you doing?
No more irrational fear of a Michigan fan. You say, hey, thank you for providing the Blue Jackets with Adam Fantilli and Kent Johnson and Zach Wierenski and Jack Johnson. Thank
Hey,
you.
where is you from, cuz?
Something cheating at football. I don't know.
Something,
But
something.
I get what you're
Cheaters,
saying. I
something,
get what you're saying.
something.
'Cause we are
15 straight L's.
we do
I don't
like
fucking know.
our Michigan hockey players, but I get
That's
what you're
all.
saying.
Yeah. So,
It's
Anyway.
It's like I really don't understand considering how all these Michigan players, they're like some of the best players on an Ohio sports team. It's just like I feel like this football purist shit is just college football purist shit is just like it's not that deep. It really isn't.
It really is, and just to reiterate too, I don't want to put down any there's a fly in here. I don't want to put down any of these athletes because they're all fantastic at what they do, but at the end of the day, we are watching basically kids play. They are grown adults. They're I think they're all over 18, right? They're 18 to like 22.
I hope
right?
so. I hope so, Sean.
So, you're right. It's not that deep. That's all.
It's not.
That's a good way to say it. But all right, what else you got for us here, Kev?
Yeah. So Brutus is in right here. So the Ohio State mascot Brutus. There he is. He's wearing a Blue Jackets jersey.
Nice. Love to see it. His colors look good on Brutus.
It
Even though it's blue.
So I'm just
Jackets.
gonna. So I'm just like, again, I like Ohio State and don't like Michigan, but we can knock it off. But we can knock it off with some of this, cringe anti-Michigan, behavior. Because if it's good enough for Brutus, who is the Ohio State mascot, if it's good enough for him to wear a Blue Jackets jersey, you can do it too, and you can wear blue and knock it off with the, oh, that's blue, that's Michigan, that's no. Brutus gets it. Good guy. I love Brutus. Go Bucks, Ohio State. I've gotten my picture with Brutus, and he's a good guy. And thank you for showing support for the Blue Jackets and wearing the Blue Jackets jersey.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
And
I love to see it. I really only see Brutus usually in like the football context. Like he's got to be at basketball games and hockey games
he
too,
is.
right? Yeah.
No, he's.
Well, I guess I just don't watch as much as basketball.
No,
so.
Brutus, he's been at Ohio State hockey games and other Ohio State events. And when the Blue Jackets have had Ohio State nights, Brutus has been there too. So he gets out, he does stuff, besides Ohio State football. So there's that. The donkey of the game.
Oh, yeah.
Was Matthew Olivier.
Oh, yeah.
So here's the video. Oh, gotta play it. Duh. That would help. Anyways.
A lot of great games today. Elvis, Marchi, Monty, but like 10 block shots. So.
I paid for it. Hey, great job, boys. And Elvis, obviously huge tonight. Great team win. Way to grit it out. Get after it tomorrow.
That was nice of him to acknowledge Elvis there. For real. I mean, now, I understand why he got it, and I'm not trying to lessen Olivier's contribution at all there, because let's see, that was New Jersey. Yeah, he had 4 blocks himself that game. Olivier did. So he's a +2. So Olivier's been playing so good this year.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's already set a record, a personal record for himself for like most goals, and it's only going up.
Yeah, you got a
So,
team of scorers over there.
Just
Put
not
that
much
puck in the net.
defense.
I mean, yeah, we do. I mean, like the Blue Jackets, for some reason, have just decided this season they're just going to score 6 on multiple teams and just score goals.
I am score. That's basically what they said.
It's cool. I'm okay with it, but I just find it interesting that it's just kind of totally random. They're like, yeah, or they just pick some games and be like, yeah, I'm just going to score like 6 goals today. Whatever. Who cares?
Instead of
It is.
forecheck, they heard score
Yeah.
check.
Yeah.
Ha.
So, anyway, what couple last things, then we'll get out of here. Shout out to William.
Yeah.
Will I am.
You have what a beautiful suit. Shout out to William.
Probably I wouldn't say he's at school, is he? No, he's probably got on holiday
Wait,
break
what's
now.
today? Today's Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Could be doing Christmas stuff. I mean, I'm kind of surprised
he's
I'm not
probably
doing
shopping
Christmas
and
stuff
shit.
right now.
Dude, I need to take a day off.
All right.
Me
So,
too.
like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. That'd be greatly appreciated. Please like, share, and subscribe.
Do it.
Tell your family,
No.
tell your friends. That'd be greatly appreciated. So please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, got to give a shout out to my awesome Uncle Doc.
Rest in peace, Doc.
Big hockey fan. I love talking hockey with you. I wish you were still here so I could still talk hockey with you. Yeah. I had a family Christmas party yesterday and you'd be there, but unfortunately you're not. And that fucking sucked. I wish you were still here, but thank you, Uncle Doc, for everything. I wish you were still here so I could talk hockey with you and just talk shit and have fun. But thank you for everything, Uncle Doc. Shout out to you. Thank you for everything. So there's that. And one last thing for me is go check out Union Blue Soldiers. It's a fun Blue Jackets theme group that I help run. Check us out on social media. We do marches and so much more. So go check out Union Blue Soldiers on all social media platforms and check us out on all social media platforms. Check out Union Blue Soldiers. All right. I'm done talking. I'm out.
I can't go with the young bees or who I said I was going to. I'm sorry. Is there anything you'd like to talk about yet, or shout out, or anything from last week that you wanted to say?
Quick shout out to big ups to my guy Jalen Hurts. Hope he gets well. Stupid fucking Commanders gave him a concussion today.
Damn.
Fuck you, Washington. Die.
So late in the season too. I hope he comes back good.
Yeah. Shout out to the FHL. Obviously, it's my league. I made that league. And what else? What else do I have to shout? You can follow me on all of these social media platforms at YoungBeesAH. And I have nothing else to say. Fuck you, Commanders. That's all I got.
Word. All right, man. Well, thank you for being here, Beat. I appreciate it. I do have just one more, a couple things to say real quick here at the end. Your mic's clipping, so I'm gonna just mute you for a hot second. Sorry, man. So I just want to shout out. They're not on the team anymore, but I really loved these players when they were here at the Blue Jackets, and that is Patrick Laine is on a tear. I don't know if they updated the stats yet. Is he 8 goals or 9 goals right now? And he's 8 goals in 9 games. He has 9 points total. So he's a point per game player. And I think he set a record for Montreal with getting the most goals in a short amount of time, first year or first season with them. So congrats to you, Patrick Laine. It's good to see you succeeding. Good to see you having success. But the Blue Jackets play Montreal here very soon. And hopefully, just for that game, Hopefully you don't have any success, man. I just want to say. And then, the name that we haven't heard very much this year at all. That is Nick Blankenberg. He scored his first goal of the season in his first game of the season. Hold on. How many games? He's played 12 games this year for Nashville, but he got his first goal recently against the LA Kings in a win in overtime. I think he got the game-winning goal. So good for you, Nick Blankenberg. Love seeing you do well too, because we do miss our Michigan Michigan man, Nick Blankenberg. And last thing I have for me, this is a general kind of NHL thing real quick. I just want to spend a few minutes on this talking about Matt Rempe and his boarding elbow against I totally just blanked now. Oh no, my article went away too. Bummer. Keskinen? Don't ask me. I don't have a clue. So anyway, he got suspended for 8 games, which is going to cost him. I was looking to see if there's also a monetary fine. I couldn't really find one, but like for missing 8 games, he's going to miss out on $80,000 that he would have gotten paid for playing in those games. It's a lot, but he's been suspended. He's been brought up like 4 times this year, something like that, and been suspended like each time. When like, okay, the NHL players safety is who's in charge of these suspensions and everything like that. He's a repeat offender. He's going to do it again. Because he's been given this many chances to look, a tough guy is tough. I love Matthew Olivier. I love Erica Branson. I love watching the way Dmitry Voronkov, the way they play. Even someone like Brad Marchand, who's annoying. He's a pest, but he's not out there to injure you. He's out there to piss you off, to get in your head. And that's what I think is not quite. Like, this guy is so big, Matt Rempe. He's such a big dude that even little hits can become disastrous just because he's so much bigger. I mean, it's going to happen that way. And so, did you guys see the hit that he laid out? It was against the Dallas Stars, and he blatantly, it was I was elbowing him, full on elbowing him. So the elbowing alone would have been bad enough, but then he was boarding the guy into the wall. And I don't know. Do you guys think the NHLPA, it's not NHL player safety, NHL PSA, something like that?
NHL
Anyway, what do you think?
doesn't know how to fucking discipline their players,
Yeah, I don't
because
think
this
so.
is some nutty nut shit. The fact that this is like his 18th time doing this, and he's only played like 8 NHL games.
Jay Fresh had a hilarious tweet that said that they would have done a hockey card for them but he's only played 125 minutes in the NHL. And I have the clip of this real quick, so that way Kevin knows exactly what we're talking about as well.
Yeah. All right. I gotta get out of here. So.
All right, man. Hey, thank you very much for being here. I'm gonna end this here very soon, but I will see you here soon next week. I'll be in touch. Right. Take it easy, man.
That's right.
I did know that was a possibility. I totally forgot. Yeah, he's got the Union Blue Soldier scarf for any of you audio listeners listening. So real quick, I'm going to share this clip, and then this will be the last part of the episode. So here is Heiskanen. I think I was right. Matt Rempe.
Heiskanen, yeah.
Elbow. Back of the neck? The back of the head? What are you doing, dude? You know you're like 6'7". You know you are huge. Like, I think. Okay, I think the refs called it right there. Yeah, the game penalty and everything like that. It's like, dude, there is a time and place for big hits and fighting and everything like that. There's a reason it's allowed in the NHL. But like, what are you doing, dude? Like, and this is not like his first time. If it was like his first time, like, oh, he's clumsy, he's kind of big, he's young, maybe he just needs some more time to skate or whatever. And they're showing the Dallas Stars going after him near the bench then too. Like, I don't blame them. That's so dangerous. Anyway, I'm glad to see at least some punishment was doled out, because like that. Get together. I love hits. I love hockey because of its physical play style and everything like that. But I do not like seeing people get injured. Like, I hate that shit. Speaking of injuries, real quick, very last thing for me, I promise, is we are still missing a few players right now. And of course, there's my stats page for the Blue Jackets. You're also clipping again real quick. Sorry, bees. The Blue Jackets are still missing, as I mentioned earlier, Yegor Chinikov. His injury was November 29th. Justin Danforth, December 11th. And Dante Fabro is out since December 17th. Of course, Goodbranson is out. He had that successful shoulder surgery, and Boone Jenner is also out. Jenner was seen skating December 10th. And so hopefully, I don't know the timetables for any of these guys, so hopefully everyone gets well soon. But that is it from me, Lance Schrock, aka Hefty Duck. You can find me all over the internet. You can find me on Instagram at lance.schrock.tattoos, Schrock spelled SCH. I am on, you can find me on Facebook. You can add me on Facebook. I'll be your Facebook friend. I don't give a shit. Find me on Twitter at Lance_Schrock, SCHROCK. You can also find my link tree anywhere on any of my socials. You can find out, you can see my my socials everywhere, all my tattoo stuff as well. Hit me up if you're in Northeast Ohio. We'll have a fun time. And don't forget to like, follow, subscribe to the Brew Jackets. You can also find us everywhere. You can find our link tree in any of our bios, wherever we're at online. And yeah, we will see you again next week. It might be a little bit different time again next week. It just depends on games, holidays, family stuff, and all that. So keep posted for that, and we will see you then. Have a good Merry Christmas.